to the video. Before we begin, if not already, please take a moment to subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot. And click the bell icon to receive notifications when I upload. Comment your little heart out. And most of all, please enjoy. Now back to the video. In a few months, I'm gonna be 55. I'm already past the halfway point of the average human lifespan. Every little ache and pain kind of get the feeling that there are more miles behind me than ahead of me. I have gray hairs. You won't see me dyeing them. My body tells a story. Be proud of the scars and wrinkles. Some people look at this timeline and see a life lived.
My body is a roadmap of pain.
Some refuse to let it go, preferring to rewrite that story. And hardly noticeable at all. This is the substance. This is your brain. This is your brain on the substance. This will revolutionize deviled eggs. Hollywood star Elizabeth Sparkle has had a long, glamorous career. But like all stars, that glow fades. The cracks form and people forget. By the way, this is LA, so this isn't snow, it's probably cocaine. At least it's not getting constantly pissed on, like some stars. This is Elizabeth, on her 50th birthday, working on her popular aerobics program. And no, this isn't set in the 80s.
Take care of yourself.
Here's a shot that would make Kubrick erect. The ladies' room is out of order, so Elizabeth ducks into the men's room. And this also looks like a place where Mr. Grady should be telling her to chop her family into pieces. Her boss, Harvey, played very convincingly piggishly by Dennis Quaid, is talking on the phone about how Elizabeth is old and needs to be fired, peeing the entire time. Ew. And of course, he does not wash his hands. She totally heard all of it. And she gets fired over lunch. Never seen anyone enjoy shrimp so much. It's gross and mesmerizing. I kind of want shrimp now.
Edge of night until the stars are all alive.
But remember, he never washed his hands. Later, as she's driving home, she gets distracted by her billboard being taken down and she gets in a car wreck. She's okay, on the outside anyway. But a young, hot medical assistant assures her that she's a good candidate for something. That something is the substance. She meets an old friend and gets his digits, probably never intending to call him, but just to make him go away. Elizabeth plugs the thing into the TV, and who thought this was a vape pen at first? It's a sales pitch for the substance. Why is it called the substance? Because the stuff is registered. She's not convinced and throws the thing away. One liquid dinner later, she's feeling her age, puking her guts out, and losing confidence in herself. Just losing herself in self-doubt all around. This is for G.I. Jane! She digs out the substance and calls the number. The next morning, she reads they are casting the next, well, her. She goes to the address to pick up her dose of the substance, which is in a seedy part of town in a very sus location. In her kit, the activator, use only once, stabilizer, use daily, intravenous food, and switch tubing.
And my mitts.
Most of all, you must remember you are one. Elizabeth gets ready to do this. This stuff looks familiar, man. Oh, needles, man, needles. At first, it looks like she got ripped off. She convulses, she hits the floor, her eyeballs do this weird splitting thing. Her consciousness is being split. Ooh, somebody saw 2001 in film school. And what happens is a younger, hotter version of Elizabeth pops out her back, like a pimple with a boob job. The younger one is now awake, and Elizabeth is not. The new girl stitches up Elizabeth's gaping back hole. I played bass for gaping back hole in college. While one is awake, the other one must be unconscious. Each day, she needs to extract a little fluid from the host's body, and that is the daily stabilizer. Every 7 days, they have to switch places, no exceptions. And the sleeping one is fed with the IV goo. She goes to that casting call and instantly gets the job, taking the name Sue.
Sue.
Yeah! How does she get a job without a social security number? No SAG card? No work history? References? Background checks? She's so hired. They even agree to her having that weird 7-day on, 7-day off schedule. She gets pretty good treatment for a first-time discovery. So she gets to work with the photo shoots, rehearsals, but before you know it, it's time to switch back. It just takes some swapping blood with the tubes. I don't know, I'm not a doctor. Elizabeth's just been lying on the bathroom floor for a week. She could use some fun. Elizabeth schedules her life around Sue, which is smart. And Sue seems to be having a lot more fun than Elizabeth. Sometime in between the movies, the TV shows, and magazine covers, Sue gets her contractor's license and builds a secret room in her bathroom. In about a day. And she's so hot the neighbors don't mind the noise. Does she own this or is this a rental? Will she get her deposit back? How is there so much spare room? How did she rent all these tools without a driver's license? Rather than take up the bathroom floor, Sue built a nice little secret room to hide the bodies, while unconscious. Oh, that can't be good for her stitches. Maybe it'll be a nice warm room with a bed. Nope, it's just a featureless abyss. She's still on the floor, but at least now it's in total darkness. Sue's new show is sexier, younger, yet familiar. Really? She's gonna do the same move? The night before she's supposed to swap back, Sue brings a dude home to... Yeah! But she starts having symptoms. Feeling sick, her nose starts bleeding. It's time to swap, but she still wants some D. She sneaks an extra dose of the stabilizer from Elizabeth's body and fixes herself right up. After some D, she finally swaps and Elizabeth wakes up to a mess. And her finger is old and gross. No, not the bean finger. Customer service is no help. You must stick to the rules, no refunds, no going back. Enjoy your new finger. She runs into an older guy in a diner who turns out to be the host of the young guy who gave her the referral. He left out a few of the cons. Elizabeth calls up that old friend she ran into before to claim a little sum-sum for herself. She's still got it going on, but the constant reminders of her other self just kills her self-esteem and she flakes on the date. Instead, she starts binge eating, which causes Sue to have nightmares about pulling fried chicken out of her navel. You should see where the mashed potatoes came out.
What's happening? Where is everybody?
Pump It Up was so popular, they canceled it. Talk about going out on top. Canceling something so popular makes no sense. Like the idiots who canceled Lower Decks, not letting that go. Instead of a steady TV show, they gave her a shot to host the yearly New Year's special. Sue starts extending her time, totally against the plan, but living her best life has a cost for Elizabeth. Again, customer service is not helpful. Elizabeth and Sue are still supposed to be one, but when they're living two separate lives, it's kind of hard to see it that way. Elizabeth wakes up. Elizabeth takes up French cooking. You know, the hardcore French stuff with brains and probably snails. She cooks while hate watching Sue on TV. She knows her way around a kitchen and good with medical procedures and power tools, not just a pretty face. She leaves a massive mess behind for Sue, going so far as to cover that massive window so she doesn't have to keep looking at her own billboard. Now Sue starts draining a larger supply of stabilizer from Elizabeth, 3 months worth, at least, right up to her big night hosting the New Year's Eve show. But that cake done run dry. Sue starts suffering the effects worse than ever, and she has no choice but to switch back. Elizabeth wakes to this. Marriage to Ashton Kutcher can do that. Despite everything, this doesn't limit her career options. Customer service has only one option. Terminate the subscription, thus killing Sue. This won't undo the damage, but at least things won't get worse. Ready to deliver the kill shot.
That the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day.
But she doesn't inject all of it. Elizabeth has a change of heart and would rather let Sue have the spotlight one last time, especially since she's a little young to run for president. She tries chest compressions, then she tries to switch back, and it kinda works. They're off game plan now, so now they're both awake. Sue realizes Elizabeth was about to kill her and beats Elizabeth to death, which takes 2 minutes longer than you would have expected. Sue gets ready for the show, but she starts having physical problems. Her teeth start falling out. Well, one falls out, and then she pulls out the rest with her hands. Ugh. There's no more stabilizer, but she does have the activator at home. The single-use activator. She loses an ear, which is fine because she apparently doesn't listen. Thankfully, it's a short walk to her place. She injects the activator and waits for the better version of herself. Oh, this ain't good. Meet Monstro Elisasu. Played bass for Monstro Elisasu in college. At least she got her teeth back. This time Elizabeth actually gets to tag along. Besties! Now shut up and start the reactor, Quaid. She's gonna need a little more than the apple-bottom jeans and boots with fur. Nothing left to do but slip on her pretty dress, stick her earrings wherever there's a hole, and do her makeup. Hey, it worked for Deadpool. Somehow, this still gets her in the building. Lights, camera, bitch, smile. And the silence is deafening. They just don't get art, man. She tries to talk, but she sounds like a Charlie Brown adult. Like so many celebrities at the height of their fame, the mask falls off. Then a boob pops out of one of her eye sockets. Hey, eyes up here. And down there. And I think there's one over here. I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeVille. The crowd goes wild, but in a bad way. People start attacking her. One guy decapitates her. Seems harsh. But her head grows back even grosser. Her arm breaks and then she sprays the audience with blood. Get it? The audience has blood on their hands too. Are you not entertained? She runs away, but her body starts to fall apart. She falls over and just bursts into pieces. The only thing still working is Elizabeth's face, with a few added tendrils. She drags herself to her Hollywood star, where she remembers her life in the spotlight. When she was famous, beautiful, successful, and in one piece. And then she just fades. She dissolves into a puddle of goo. All celebrities wind up eventually. She cleans up okay, but you know there's still some of her in those cracks. Ew. That was The Substance. Directed by Coralie Fargate, The Substance is a bold, satirical exploration of body horror and a commentary on Hollywood's ageism and beauty standards. You know, the metaphor is strong and on the nose when I pick it up on the first viewing. Everything is so over the top, exaggerated, fantastical at face value, but the base themes are clear. Elizabeth gets into something to feel young again. It could be drugs, plastic surgery, light carpentry, something that consumes her life, she loses control of, and it spirals out of control, usually to the tragic ending. A tale as old as Hollywood, if not even older. The Substance is as mysterious as the people who push it. It's easy to call Sue a villain, but she's as much a victim. The film critiques Hollywood's value of youth and beauty, reinforced by lingering shots of Sue's assets, contrasting with the vulnerable display of Elizabeth's body. The movie dares to make us participants, whether our reaction is pity or titillation. Dennis Quaid was such a great douchebag. He's like a cross between Harvey Weinstein and Harvey Weinstein. One part of the possible experience starlets like this would experience is either glossed over or dismissed altogether. Look at this guy. This is a character you would have to sleep with for any kind of job, but it never comes up, so to speak. He just eats shrimp in the grossest close-ups I've ever seen. Still want shrimp. There are several sources of inspiration that are well integrated. Photography, Kubrick, the Gore, Cronenberg, and Gallagher. Shades of Sunset Boulevard. Even as Elizabeth's condition is deteriorating, it's visibly asymmetrical, reinforcing the departure from a more symmetric beauty standard. Even the sets aren't natural. This big window, a womb with a view, this weird bathroom, the bright colors really make that gore pop. The performances are terrific, but most of all, Demi Moore knocks this out of the park. She was incredible in this. The story has lots to say about the industry. Looks are currency, sex appeal is a commodity. There's a flaw to the Substance itself, though. Why bother making a younger, better you when they get to go out and have all the fun and you don't? You don't even experience what they're having. They're treated like separate beings, but they're not experiencing each other's lives. Where half of you goes on vacation, the other half of you stays home. The Substance stuck with me a long time after the credits rolled. My sympathy for Elizabeth will probably increase the older I get. It's unapologetic, it pulls no punches. Just maybe skip the popcorn. The Substance is 4.5 Bs. A wild, grotesque ride, and it's an unsettling smoothie made of societal critique, gore, and body image. Remember, if it feels too unbelievable, it's probably just a metaphor you're missing. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Like, subscribe, comment, the bell, the usual YouTube stuff. This is theNewBee, and I'll see you later, kids. Toodles!
Thank you.